You won't believe it, but there's still a place on Earth today, a secret island hidden in the middle of the Pacific Ocean where reaching it feels like walking backward through time. It's one of the most isolated human settlements on the planet, so remote that no plane can land here, no cruise ship can approach, and even Google Maps can't quite capture it properly. And yet around 50 people still live on this very island today. This is Pitcairn Island, a volcanic rock rising up out of the endless blue sea, almost untouched by the passage of time, wrapped in mystery, and nearly unknown to most of the world. But the real question is, how was this island even formed? How have these 50 people managed to survive for so long, so far away from civilization? What does their daily life actually look like? And what secrets is this island still holding on to? Today, we're stepping into that unknown world where every single day is its own story. So I'd encourage you to watch this video all the way through. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and select all on the bell icon. To even reach the nearest airport, you have to travel thousands of kilometers, all the way to Tahiti or New Zealand. And that's where the real challenge begins. From there, you have to board a slow supply ship that cuts through the Pacific Ocean for days on end. Massive waves surround you, storms hit without warning, and as far as the eye can see, there's nothing but water. No rescue boats, no islands in sight anywhere nearby. It feels like civilization has been left far behind. And then, right out of that emptiness, a jagged green mountain suddenly rises into view. Steep cliffs shoot up from the ocean like stone walls. Thick, untouched forests cover the land, and the water is so clear you can see straight down to the ocean floor beneath the boat. As you get closer, the island feels like something the world simply forgot about. Most tourists never even manage to reach this place. There are no resorts here, no tour guides, not even a proper dock. The island's own residents have to bring you ashore themselves, fighting massive waves in tiny boats. The moment your feet touch the ground, one thing becomes crystal clear. You are no longer in the modern world. Roughly 50 people live on Pitcairn Island. The entire island, just 50 people. Not 50 families, just 50 lives. It's such a small population that everyone knows everyone's name, everyone's story, everyone's past. There's no supermarket here, no hospital, not even a police station. There's just one school, one church, one tiny post office, and one general store, which only opens 2 days a week, and even then, only if the supplies haven't already run out. So the question becomes, how do just 50 people survive on such a remote, nearly isolated island? And the answer lies entirely in self-sufficiency. Most families on Pitcairn grow their own food. The fertile soil easily produces bananas, papayas, breadfruit, taro, and sweet potatoes. Chickens roam freely across the island, providing fresh eggs. As evening falls, the men head to the steep edges of the cliffs and cast their fishing lines into the deep blue water. Fresh tuna and wahoo make up their main source of protein. But here's the catch. This island has no natural source of fresh water. No rivers, no streams, so they rely entirely on rainwater, collected and stored in tanks. Here, every single drop of water matters. During dry spells, even taking a shower becomes a real struggle. Water has to be used with extreme care. Electricity comes from solar panels and small diesel generators, and if a generator breaks down, there's no outside help coming, not even close. There's no repair shop here, no online shopping, no express delivery. So the islanders fix everything themselves, often using parts and tools they've salvaged over the years. Whatever scrap they can find gets turned into something new. A single piece of old iron here can become the tool that saves someone's life. Nothing goes to waste on this island. Everything gets repaired again and again until it's completely beyond saving. In a community this small, every single person has to wear multiple hats. One day you're a farmer, the next day an electrician, sometimes a mechanic, sometimes the cook, and sometimes even the nurse. Living on Pitcairn isn't something you do alone. It's an entirely collective effort. Everyone here depends on everyone else. The communication system here would completely stun anyone from the modern world. There's no mobile network, no cell service. There's only one slow, expensive satellite internet connection, and it barely works during bad weather. A single email can take minutes just to load. A video call is considered nearly impossible. Sometimes the internet disappears completely for days at a time. The most reliable way to reach the outside world is still through radio and the post office, a small wooden building where letters arrive every few months. That same supply ship also brings food, medicine, and fuel. If someone sends a package from abroad, it can take weeks to arrive, sometimes even months. And if that supply ship, for any reason, fails to arrive on schedule because of a storm, a mechanical failure, or a financial issue, the entire island comes to a standstill. Everyone just waits for the ship. And yet, despite all these limitations, the people of Pitcairn remain remarkably close to one another, incredibly resourceful, and deeply proud of their tiny home. But the real mystery is this: how did just 50 people end up here in the first place? And that story is unlike anything else in the world. It all begins in 1789 aboard the deck of a British ship called the HMS Bounty, a vessel that seemed almost destined to become one of the most infamous ships in history. After months of unbearable tension, brutal discipline, and inhumane conditions, the sailors' patience finally broke. Led by Fletcher Christian, a group of sailors staged a mutiny against their captain, William Bligh, an event that became known in history as the Mutiny on the Bounty. The mutineers seized control of the ship and set Captain Bligh and a handful of loyal crew members adrift on a small boat, pushing them out to sea. But they knew the British Navy would never let this go. What they had done carried a punishment of nothing less than death, so they needed a place where the British would never find them. An island no one visited, one that didn't even exist on any map, lost somewhere in the middle of the ocean. That's exactly how they found Pitcairn Island, a remote volcanic island completely hidden from the outside world. At the time, maps had marked the island's location incorrectly, making it even harder to find. For the mutineers, it was the perfect hiding place. They arrived on Pitcairn along with several Polynesian men and women. They knew there was no way back, so they made a final, irreversible decision. They burned the HMS Bounty to the ground. This destroyed the only way off the island, and it also reduced the chances of any passing ship spotting it from a distance. And so, atop those steep cliffs, an entirely new secret world was born. But the beginning of this new life was brutally difficult. Conflict, tragedy, and power struggles played out between the Europeans and the Polynesians. Resources were scarce, and the isolation was suffocating. Yet through all of that hardship, a new society slowly began to take shape. Families formed, children were born, and generation after generation carried the blood of two cultures forward. Today, every single person on Pitcairn Island can trace their roots back to those original mutinous sailors and the Polynesian men and women who came with them. Names like Christian, Young, Brown, and Warren appear in every graveyard, in every home, in every family's bloodline. But the mystery of this island doesn't end with its history. For centuries, its location kept it hidden from explorers, from governments, even from pirates. Countless ships sailed across the Pacific Ocean year after year, and most never even realized that an entire human society had been built on this lonely volcanic rock. Pitcairn Island itself feels like a living book full of mysteries, with many pages still unopened. Carved into the island's steep cliffs and hidden caves are ancient Polynesian markings, symbols, strange shapes, and drawings whose meanings still aren't fully understood. Deep inside some of these caves are underground chambers, where ancient visitors once performed religious rituals or left offerings to their gods. Archaeologists believe these markings are centuries older than Pitcairn's current society, meaning ancient seafarers were here long before the mutineers ever arrived. Many of these caves remain unexplored to this day, some too dangerous, some too deep, and others so mysterious that no one has ever dared to climb down into them. Even now, the islanders tell stories of strange lights appearing suddenly over the ocean during silent nights, echoes drifting down from the mountains when no one is around, and waves rising suddenly out of a calm sea without any warning at all, almost as if the ocean itself is alive. These legends have been passed down in whispers, generation after generation for more than 200 years. But perhaps the greatest mystery of all is this: how has such a tiny community managed to survive, completely cut off from the rest of the world for so long? Most remote settlements eventually disappear. Most societies eventually collapse, but Pitcairn has remained whole. For more than 230 years, these families have held onto their identity, their traditions, and their deep bond with the land and the sea. And yet even now, the future remains uncertain. Only about 50 people live on the island today, and that number keeps shrinking. Young people leave for New Zealand to study or work, and many of them never come back. To attract new residents, the island's authorities have offered free land and the promise of a peaceful life. But that deep, overwhelming isolation is exactly what scares most people away. If new people don't arrive, this entire community could one day be at risk of disappearing altogether. Some fear that Pitcairn could eventually become an empty, abandoned island, left with nothing but broken homes, silent forests, and only the sound of the wind and the sea. And yet, for now, the people who remain continue living exactly the way their ancestors once did, with unbreakable spirit, endless resourcefulness, and a deep, unshakable bond with this mysterious island. Every day they wake up to the roar of the ocean. They walk the same steep paths their ancestors carved into the mountainside by hand, and they pass down knowledge that has survived generation after generation into the hands of the next. This story reminds our modern world of a rare truth, a place where time moves slowly, where technology hasn't taken over everything, where nature is still powerful, and where just 50 lives are holding on to something that almost no one else on Earth will ever truly experience. Pitcairn isn't just an island. It's a hidden world, a living monument to human history, a society built on survival, mystery, and courage. And today, you've stepped inside that very island yourself, a place where only 50 people still call home. Now, I want to hear from you. Could you live a life this isolated? Or would this kind of solitude be the most terrifying thing imaginable to you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.